How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether price is going up or down. Court rules against Trudeau in Canadian truck dispute. Bitcoin expert says it's a national travesty that this happened. A Canadian federal court determined last week that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau violated the nation's Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Trudeau's use of Emergency Act in 2022 aimed at stopping truck drivers protesting against COVID mandates, and their Bitcoin crowdfunding efforts were deemed to be in violation of their constitution. The court concluded Tuesday, January 23rd, that Trudeau and his cabinet's actions were unjustified, and it also goes on to speculate that he could end up getting kicked out of office, and this shows Bitcoin's ability to show corrupt politicians. Bitcoin ETF flow shows negative trend over first time since launch. So the group of recently launched spot Bitcoin traded ETFs are seeing negative flow. This is for Grayscale in the majority, BlackRock IBT and Fidelity's FBTC still have not seen much outflows, but their inflows have not kept pace with the Grayscale's exits. James Suppart says all the ETFs, GBDC included, saw a net outflow of 158 million on Wednesday. These numbers compiled by Coindex from the issuer's website shows that they have lost about 20,000 or 18,000 tokens. They went from 660,000 tokens a week earlier to 642,000 this week. Among other 9 funds, BlackRock IBT and Fidelity FBTC have seen inflows of about 20,000 to 25,000 for each 1 week ago. So they are seeing some increase, but they are seeing a bit of tapering off for the demand as of this week. So the demand could be drying up, but the selling pressure could be drying up as well here. Silk Road, speaking of selling pressure, the US wants to sell 130 million in Bitcoin from the seizures of Silk Road. The United States government announced the intention to sell approximately 117 million worth of Bitcoin. Don't know why they're saying 2 different numbers here. Guess they can't make up their mind. According to the notice, interested parties, excluding the defendants, have 60 days from January 10th, 2024 to file a petition claiming interest in their assets. After the resolution of these petitions or the expiration of the date, the government will have the clear title to the Bitcoin and be able to start selling it. So it may still take a few months, but after these 2 months, we could start to see some more selling pressure. That would be a little goofy, as the timing of that would be just before the Bitcoin halving, when things are supposed to kick off the bull market. That would start the bull market, but it wouldn't be necessarily the top of the bull market in 2024. Rollups are coming to Bitcoin through super layer protocol Bitcoin OS. Blockchain developers unveiled a new platform on Thursday that is meant to catapult Bitcoin into the DeFi space. The new platform is named Bitcoin OS. It is pitched as a public good that uses sovereign rollups versus the ZK rollups to make a layer for dApps or decentralized applications, because Bitcoin does not have any kind of smart contract functionality, so they cannot use ZK rollups. And ZK rollups are on a parent chain, and Bitcoin is the parent chain, so you can't use a parent chain on Bitcoin because it would be the parent. While existing technologies like sidechains, Liquid, Rootstock, and so on, Rootstock is where Sovereign actually came from, can enable faster transactions, they require users to trust a centralized federated bridge not to steal or freeze their assets. They also suffer from a lack of liquidity because there are fewer people on these platforms until they take off. The framework's built-in fraud system also will allow single honest people to prevent fraudulent transactions, so one person can monitor transactions and try to flag them for all good. All projects built on Bitcoin OS can seamlessly share users and activity. Since all the rollups are built from the same modular parts, they will also share very similar different user data. That could be bad or good. We'll have to see how much user data could be exposed between those layers. That would be my concern as far as this. That does not get answered, but we will need to watch that part closely. So over on the Dixie for the daily, we have not managed to break through this support resistance zone, and we are just continuing to struggle. If we cannot break through soon, it is likely we will roll over and fill that lower gap, which would be good for our crypto, as we would potentially see them start to come up. If you watch, our green EMA is attempting to come up above that red EMA. If this green EMA can make a move toward that red and black EMA and break them, we will possibly see a break of this resistance at that 103. However, if we start seeing more red candles from here and the green EMA starts to curl off, we are going to see a push to the downside. If you do not know what these EMAs are or don't have them, our indicators, we have Market Cipher A free version 1.1 and Market Cipher B edits. They're both great tools to use. I would use them in conjunction. Market Cipher B is going to tell you how money is going in or out of your asset, so it's very important to watch because that determines what kind of trend you are in. Meaning, when this money flow, this red wave is red, we are in a bearish trend and we will see price action pull back. Bearish means you will see a decrease in price. So go to the gear for Market Cipher A, change your colors to as following. Your opacity will need to be 70%. Then change your inputs as following, and then you'll be on the same page we are. So your EMAs give you supports and resistances. Between supports and resistances, this big colored area you see, that is called a Fibonacci retracement zone. If you want a Fibonacci retracement zone, visit our Trading Basics playlist, add the Fibonacci retracement zone, and get the golden pocket. Stochastic's overall heading down. Our stochastic is this orange and blue line. When orange is on top, we are bearish, meaning it will start to head down. When blue is above orange, it tries to become more bullish, at least in the medium term of where it is overall. Its trend has a neutral zone of 30. When it's above 30, it's overall bullish. When it's below 30, it is bearish. That is the same for our RSI, which is the Relative Strength Index. Now we have three other parts of this indicator, and they have a different neutral area. But when the stochastic is overbought and coming down, we are likely going to see our RSI start to head down if the stochastic cannot rebound and gain strength, which could lead to price action falling, providing other indicators like VWAP, money flow, and momentum are more bearish, just like back here. So if you look, momentum, this big blue wave, is starting to roll away. VWAP is in the bearish territory. Money flow wants to hit that neutral, but it's struggling to break through it. If our money flow rolls away from this neutral, we will continue a bearish trend, and we will see these gains retrace and possibly push back down toward around that 100 area again. So just remember, as a pretty strong area of support resistance, we kind of had a little mini gap right here around 101. So if we're lucky and we start to push down, we could try to meet some support early there. Over on our total, we are struggling to break through the bottom. That is a positive sign for us if we can continue to see green candles from here. If we continue to consolidate, we will make a bear flag that can push us lower. RSI is overall heading down. Our stochastic is pushing down. Consolidation is sideways action, if you're not familiar with that term. VWAP is in the bearish territory. It is attempting to break through neutral, so if it can become bullish and break through this neutral in the next candle or two, that would be positive. However, if our VWAP rolls over and rejects this neutral, we will see momentum favor bearish territory still, and then our money flow would be at risk of coming down and changing our trend. Look here, it's green, so green means a bullish trend. That would have the potential to turn our green trend into a red trend, and we would have people selling off, and the asset would start pushing even lower. On the total, that would represent all of our altcoins starting to sell off. This is excluding Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum are not included in this total 3. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we could attempt to make a double bottom if we are lucky. Just now seeing that, so we have this drop, a rise. The rise is a little above this drop, so usually you don't see that. But then we have this drop, and we are attempting to make some sort of a rise. If we can attempt to push through and continue up, we will attempt to break forward and see dominance run up to around 56%. That would be positive, as that would break that value area high. That could start a new bullish trend, and that would help push Bitcoin further. That would be in line with the Dixie dropping and Bitcoin increasing. Stochastic is pushing forward. VWAP does want to round away. Momentum is trying to gain some bullish strength. So watch that VWAP very closely. If our VWAP starts to pick up bearish strength, then this trend up would be kind of at risk, and we could start seeing some sell-off. So don't quite get excited yet. We need to break this neckline if we're going to break forward, and we're going to have to break that value area high. Both areas are going to be a tough spot to break. Over on Bitcoin futures, we are very indecisive here. We didn't really go anywhere, and we are starting some consolidation. We do still have that gap below us, so we did not fill the gap either way. RSI is pretty flat, as price action really doesn't know what it wants to do right now. Technically, we got most of our breakup on this descending channel, so I would just watch out for some pullback. With it looking indecisive here, I am going to delete this, and we should watch other things. We have that double gap that could end up bringing us down. We are below our point of control and value area low, and we are below an EMA level. If we reject this EMA level, we're likely going to push to our value area low of our fixed range volume profile. If we are not able to break through, that's the likely scenario. But if we are able to break through this green EMA, we can make an attempt to break through the yellow. If we can break through both, that would give us a push forward toward our point of control. But then remember, blue is going to be our next support resistance area. And if we can break that blue, then we may start another trend forward. That would be positive for Bitcoin, but again, as providing we do not start to pull back here. Stochastic is trying to push forward. RSI is pretty flat. Money flow is in the bearish territory. VWAP is trying to break bullishly, but we're very indecisive. So we're going to want to watch where tomorrow's candle lands. Momentum is in the bearish territory, trying to get a green dot as that VWAP wants to break bullishly. But if the VWAP rolls over and makes a lower high, we could still see bearish favor bring us lower. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we attempted to break through this 40K and we are still struggling, so we don't know where we want to go. We still have 2 minutes. We could attempt to close over it. We will have to see. RSI is overall heading down, Stochastic's overall pushing down. Money flow is coming out. VWAP is struggling to break through that neutral, and the momentum does want to push forward. But if the VWAP pulls back here and our next candle is red and we start to pull away, that would put us in jeopardy of seeing the VWAP pull back. And then our money flow, if it flips red, could put this bullish pattern in jeopardy of breaking down. Remember, no pattern is 100%. There's no crystal ball in trading, otherwise we'd all be rich. Over on the 4 hour, we are attempting to break forward, but we're starting to get hung up on this 40K support zone. If we are not able to break through this in the next couple candles, and we see a strong red candle follow this candle, we could see a rounding top here, pull us under and drop us down. We are attempting an early break of this pattern. This early break could try to push price action around that 43.5. But if we pull back into the pattern, we could have a rejection, a second rejection, and then that could show the bears may gain control. Stochastic is overall pushing down. RSI wants to come down. VWAP is in the bearish territory. Money flow is starting to head down, and the momentum is starting to curl away from that neutral. So if the VWAP continues to favor bearishly, we are going to see price action move down instead of break through this support resistance area. Over on the 2 hour, we are trying to close with an indecision candle, so that could invalidate that rounding top possibility. We would want to see a strong green candle follow this low if we're going to continue forward. RSI is heading down, Stochastic does want to make a bullish cross and push forward, but it's not really doing a whole lot right now as we are kind of struggling. We are just above that 30, so the RSI could continue forward, but we're going to need to see this VWAP pick up some strength. Our VWAP is struggling to break through that neutral, struggling to become bullish. This next candle is trying to ramp up, but if we see a pull back here, we will see this ramp up, get rejected, and see a push down. Money flow is starting to reject. Momentum's very indecisive. I would watch the lower time frame, the 1 hour. If we are not able to break through here in the next few candles, we could have this be a symmetrical triangle. A symmetrical triangle is a 50-50 pattern that can break you down or up. That's why it's 50-50. That potential could end up pushing us lower and breaking us down if we start to reject. We are right at what could be a resistance. If we're lucky, it could break us above that 40K, push us to about 40.3. If we're unlucky, it will pull us back into this pattern. Stochastic does want to round, RSI is very indecisive, money flow is starting to head down, and the VWAP is starting to head down as well. Momentum wants to roll away, so again, you watch these next couple candles. If they start being indecisive, being weak, we're likely going to see some red candles that could take over, bring price action down, and drop us just like back here. If that scenario does happen, then again, we do have possibility to invalidate this pattern, and this would be our second attempt at a break up that would have a second rejection, so I would not bet too much on the pattern after that. Over on graph for the daily, we attempted to break forward and we got rejected. This is why confirmation is important. RSI is overall coming down, Stochastic is struggling. It's overall under 30, so it is in bearish territory, going pretty flat, so it does still have potential to bring our RSI lower, bringing price action lower with it. Momentum is in the bearish territory, VWAP is favoring the bearish territory, and our money flow can't manage to break through. If our VWAP continues to favor bearish territory, we will see a rejection. We are attempting to make higher lows with higher highs, but those higher highs aren't very strong, so we need strong highs on the VWAP if we're going to see a bullish trend get created here. Over on the 4 hour, Stochastic's overall pushing down, RSI is overall pushing down, VWAP's in the bearish territory, struggling to break through neutral, momentum is in the bearish territory. It does have a green dot though, so if this green dot can push us forward with the VWAP, we will see it break forward, another attempt to break forward. If we cannot get that break forward, then we may invalidate this break, just like on Bitcoin. When you see multiple rejections to a breakup, that is suggestive that that breakup will not happen. Over on the 2 hour, we have a manipulation X that does want to bring us down, so I would just exercise some caution. Stochastic wants to roll away, RSI is starting to head down as a result, VWAP is starting to come down, money flows in the bearish territory, momentum is trying to push forward, but if the VWAP continues to head down and we see lower highs with lower lows, the bears will still gain control and push price action lower. Over on our 1 hour, we are very indecisive. We're trying to consolidate, but overall starting to slide along this resistance. So we are struggling to break resistance. We did break it, and then we came back in. So again, exercise some caution. We don't want to end up like back here. We did try to fill this gap, but that fill may be rejected, and we could leave that gap for a later date. Our Stochastic does want to round away. RSI is starting to pick up some bearish strength as a result. VWAP is heading down, so watch the VWAP closely. If the VWAP breaks into the bearish territory, we are at jeopardy of seeing this bullish trend start to reverse, and it would be very short-lived. However, if our VWAP bounces off the neutral, gets a higher low, and then we see continued our higher highs with or bullish favor, then we will see money flow remain bullish, and price action would still have that potential to move up. But just be wary, VWAP is coming down. We have a double manipulation X that tried to flash. If that double manipulation X does happen, that could end up dropping us even lower, so I would watch out for that possibility. Over on Ankr for the daily, we do have the potential for this rising channel to have been a breakdown, so I would watch that. We will get onto that on the lower time frames. RSI is struggling. Stochastic does want to head forward. We are above 30, but it's struggling to get through. We will need the orange line to continue with the blue line. VWAP is in bullish territory very weakly, so I would watch the lower time frames. If our VWAP pushes down from here, we would still have potential to see a continued drop. Momentum does want to get that double green dot, but with that VWAP struggling, that double green dot is in jeopardy. Over on the 1 hour, can't find our line for the breakdown, but this rising channel is a bearish pattern. It really didn't have much potential to bring us lower. It does have the potential to bring us right around this 2238. We did pretty much get the full move almost. We got to 2260 on that wick that you probably could have filled on a lower time frame. so we are going to delete this channel. If we cannot break through this range, we will have a resistance and a pullback. Stochastic is heading down, RSI is pretty flat, momentum is overall heading down, VWAP is struggling to break through neutral, and the money flow wants to become bearish again. If our VWAP cannot break through this neutral here, we will see momentum head down and money flow will continue out, and we will see the bears gain control of our asset for the 4 hour. That would lead to the higher time frames, possibly pushing even lower. Now over on the 2 hour here, can't really draw this as a channel, so never mind on that, but the RSI is trying to head forward, but it's trying to stagnate as that stochastic did get a massive drop. Stochastic did try to make a bullish cross, but it's starting to roll away, so just watch the next few candles. If we start to pull back from this EMA level, it's very likely bears will remain in control. VWAP is in the bearish territory, struggling to break through neutral, and the money flow is struggling as well, so again, watch that VWAP very closely. Over on the 1 hour, RSI is overall very indecisive. We got a little bit of a peak down as stochastic came down, but the stochastic is attempting to break back into bullish territory. Our VWAP is heading forward, money flow is very indecisive, momentum does want to head up, so if the VWAP can continue forward and can continue to be in a bullish trend from here, then our money flow will break back into bullish territory. We will see the bearish trend reverse. However, if our VWAP rounds away and momentum starts to pull back in the next few hours, it's very likely we will get a breakdown. Over on XRP for the daily, we didn't really get too much movement here today. We tried to hit 50 cents, got decent bounce as that is a decent psychological support resistance. RSI is overall heading down, stochastic is coming down, VWAP wants to push into the bullish territory but struggling overall. So if we cannot get some green candles, we're likely going to see a continued drop down. Our money flow is in the bearish territory, momentum is pushing down, momentum has a double green dot, so if the VWAP can break forward and we can see a higher high with higher lows on that VWAP, our money flow could reverse into bullish territory and price action could start a bullish trend. But if the VWAP continues to struggle here, that is not likely. Over on the 4 hour, we could be making a bear flag as we have a consolidation range here after breaking down. Stochastic is trying to push forward, RSI is indecisive, VWAP is trying to break bullishly. We do have some consistent lows with very inconsistent highs. If this high rolls over here and then we get a lower low from here, the bears will remain in control. However, if we get a lower low and then the VWAP favors bullish territory from here, we will break that 54 area and try to continue forward. Money flows overall coming out. Momentum does want to push forward. It does overall have bullish divergence, but again, bullish divergence doesn't have to bring you up. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic is starting to round away. RSI is going pretty flat. Our VWAP is starting to round away. Money flow is starting to come up, or come down, sorry. Momentum does want to come up. It does have a double green dot. But the VWAP continues to round away, and we see the VWAP break bearishly, our momentum will round, and money flow will come out, leading price action lower. So just watch out for that scenario. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a bearish cross on stochastic. It is starting to round away. We do have a bearish engulfing candle, and we are starting to be followed by a red candle, so I would watch the next few hours closely. If we continue to see red candles, we could slip below these EMAs. Our VWAP does want to head down, momentum does want to get around, and the money flow is starting to head down, so these three could attempt to break bearishly. If they do break bearishly, we are going to see the bears gain control, try to fill these wicks right around that 49 cents, and if we cannot hold that, then again, we do have those 38 cent resistance that we did mention previously. Over on ALGO for the daily, we are seeing overall a massive sell-off, and we are starting to follow it with consolidation. That's not good because consolidation after a sell-off creates a bear flag. RSI is heading down, stochastic is attempting to push forward, VWAP does want to break bullishly, money flow is attempting to break bearishly, and momentum does want to head forward with the VWAP pushing up. If the VWAP can continue up on the higher and lower time frames, then money flow will push forward and continue bullishly. However, if our VWAP rolls away here, we will see the bears gain control. Over on the 4 hour, We do have a bit of a consolidation and we are attempting to break away from it, so I would just exercise caution. The 4 hour, this could be more of a bull flag though, because we technically have a rise up followed by consolidation. Stochastic's heading down, RSI wants to head down, money flow is coming out, momentum's in bearish territory, and VWAP's in bearish territory. So overall, it does look like the bears have more control than the bulls. If we see the money flow favor bearishly and VWAP continue to favor bearishly, we are not likely going to see a bullish break up. RSI is coming down. Remember, the daily bear flag could have more strength over the 4 hour bull flag, but that doesn't mean the 4 hour bull flag can't invalidate the daily bear flag. Over on the 2 hour, we do want to roll away. We have a manipulation X. Watch out for that to play out as we're starting to kick off some bearish strength. Stochastic wants to get a bearish cross. RSI wants to curl away. VWAP is pushing away from that neutral, getting a lower high with consistent lows. Our momentum is in bearish territory, and our money flow is bearish as well. If this continues, we are likely going to see some sell-off and continued lows for ALGO here. Over on the 1 hour, Stochastic is making a bearish break. RSI is starting to head out. Money flow is starting to round away. VWAP has broken into the bearish territory, and our momentum is starting to curl away with the red dot. If our VWAP starts to favor bearish territory, this will be a lower high with continued lows, and then we could have some bearish favors start to bring us down. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.